Welcome to a new video on the Photography Minimalist. Let's continue with affordable medium format. In this video I'm going to be using my Zeiss Ikon Nettar, which is a model 518/16IH. What's in the name? It's a 6x6 format camera and it has a fixed 75mm 4.5 Novar lens, which is suggested to be actually a Rodenstock lens. So I took this camera out over the past days with a roll of Fuji Acros, which is a 100 ISO film. And I'm going to be showing you 11 out of the 12 images which I made with this camera. 5 of the images were made outside and the other 6 were made inside. I again photographed in the parking garage, where I made the photos in my previous video with my Zeiss Ikon 6x9 camera. And there was a specific reason, or maybe better said, 2 reasons why I returned to the parking garage. First of all, when using Fuji Acros with longer shutter speeds, there's no need to compensate for reciprocity failure. And that's something that I wanted to experience firsthand. The second reason is the fact that I wanted to shoot a few photos with its widest aperture of 4.5 to see if I could get the subject in focus based on the estimated distance from lens to subject, and I also wanted to have a look at the shallower depth of field. So let me show you these 11 images first, after which I'll come back to you and I'll talk a little bit about using square format in medium format photography, and I'll also have a closer look at the camera and the results that I was able to achieve. Square format photography, for me personally, is always associated to fine art photography. Some compositions benefit from square format, especially black and white. But if you're looking for an all-round format to use, then the square format, the 6x6 format, is not ideal. Of course, you can crop your image, but you're going to compromise with regards to image quality. And then also, beforehand, you need to exactly position your composition and know which part of the image you're going to be cropping afterwards. I have used 6x6 square format in the past when I owned a Hasselblad 500C with an 80mm and a 150mm lens. And I used this camera and lens combination for many assignments, and either I would intentionally keep the image in the square format or I would need to crop afterwards. So I know from experience the extra worry that you have exactly positioning your composition to be able to make the right crop afterwards. That all being said, of course, this square format produces excellent images. If I look at the center sharpness of this Zeiss Ikon, that is comparable to a Hasselblad. The edge and corner sharpness is a little less. even at apertures of f11 or f16. A folding camera, of course, does not offer interchangeable lenses or film backs, which is, in some cases, a drawback, and it is a viewfinder camera, which means that you need to estimate or measure the lens to subject distance. When I photographed a few of these cars in the parking garage, I tried the aperture of 4.5. That is hit and miss, even if you measure the lens to subject distance, because the focusing scale on the Zeiss Ikon is not exact, it is not precise. That means it's very difficult to get perfect sharpness on your subject when using the largest aperture of 4.5. So these cameras can be ideally used at apertures of f8 or higher to get a good overall sharpness throughout your image. I was very surprised with the high quality results of the Fuji Acros. It has a very nice contrast and almost no visible grain, even when I zoom in at 100%. Well, I guess that the images that I was able to produce with the Zeiss Ikon and the Fuji Acros prove the point that medium format photography can be very affordable. You just need to understand and work around the limitations of using a folding camera. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. It would be greatly appreciated. Maybe you've seen the enlarger standing behind me, something that I recently purchased, a complete set for only 15 euros. And I'm going to be using the enlarger in upcoming videos. Thanks for watching. Look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.